Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to your Lunch Break Live. My name is Ivana if you're new here. If you are not, thank you for coming back. Today, I have a very fun guest joining me. If you do not recognize her, this is Miss Alabama 2019, Miss Tiara Pennington. Now, I said 2019, and that is not a mistake. That is actually the last Miss Alabama we have crowned here in the state. There is a competition this weekend where a new Miss Alabama will be crowned. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, Tiara is joining us today to talk about her reign as Miss Alabama, this kind of historic tenure over several years with serving double the time that most Miss Alabamas get to serve. So, Tiara, I know that it's a busy week. It is your last week serving as the current Miss Alabama, and I'm sure that must be a hard thing to let go of after having 2 years holding on to this role.
Absolutely. And I mean, this isn't just a 2 year journey for me. This is years and years of preparation. I had the opportunity to compete in the teen organization and was fortunate enough to serve the state in the teen role, which was amazing. And then my mother had the opportunity of competing in the organization back in the mid to late 80s. So growing up, I always was at the Miss Alabama competition as a little girl. I was there already scoring them, and I couldn't wait to be on the stage. So this truly has been a dream come true, and it's really sad that it's about to end, but I'm so thankful that we're here at this point and that another wonderful woman will have the opportunity to serve the state and, of course, gain scholarship money.
Now, you were crowned in 2019. You obviously expected to serve that 1 year as Miss Alabama and serving all of the duties that come along with that title. Obviously, the pandemic hit when nobody was expecting that, and you ended up serving 2 terms. So tell me, how did it feel when we got to the kind of when the pandemic hit and before the pageant was supposed to take place, how that affected you and how you had to sit here and say, oh gosh, I have to do this again. I have to do a whole nother year of this.
Really, when Miss Nan Tenenbaum, who is the executive director over the organization, told me, hey, Miss America is not going to happen for this next year because of the pandemic. And they're giving all of our state title holders the opportunity to stay on because I had already competed at Miss America. It was fortunate enough to be top 7. So really, this just gave me the opportunity to kind of figure out how to still keep everyone engaged while we were on lockdown. So I tell everybody I turned into virtual Miss Alabama. And really, the whole 2 years that I've had, I've grown so much in so many different areas. And I've just really learned that nothing is in our control. And I think all of us can attest to that with this pandemic and something that hit us out of the blue. So it definitely has been a crazy extra year, but it's one that I'm so thankful and grateful that I had the opportunity to serve again.
Now, something that you were pretty vocal about on your social media accounts during the last year was coronavirus safety, promoting people to stay home when they could, especially kind of at the beginning of this pandemic in 2020 and the spring, summer of 2020, for people to practice their personal hygiene, to wear masks, etc. And you shared actually your journey, yours and your mother's, I believe, being diagnosed with COVID. So how did you balance sharing your thoughts and your personal journey with coronavirus with the world on social media?
Well, one thing that I've learned being in this organization is that a lot of people just think this is a beauty competition. We're just beauty queens, but we really are PR. We are PR for this organization, and we're supposed to be role models and we're supposed to be out there to be leaders and to set examples. And so, really, it wasn't that difficult. I just thought I'm just going to speak truthfully and be honest about my experience and that this is a serious disease and that it has affected so many people. So many people have unfortunately lost their lives. They have lost their loved ones, and we should take it seriously. And I've just been so honored that I've been in this role to kind of bring everyone along on this journey with me and those in Alabama to know that this is a real disease and a real virus and that we should take it seriously. And I'm so glad that I've been fully vaccinated now, and I've also encouraged others to become vaccinated. So if we want to get on the other side of this, that we can with a vaccine. So it's something that honestly I just took one step at a time and tried to be as truthful as I possibly could about my own experience.
Did you receive a lot of flack for being Miss Alabama, having your platform and encouraging vaccinations, encouraging COVID safety in a state like Alabama? Did you get a lot of messages or kind of hate mail, as we call it?
I didn't, which is something that I was a little nervous about because as Miss Alabama, I always want to make everyone feel as comfortable as possible. I want people to feel like they can come talk to me, voice different concerns because that's who I am. But I didn't. I always received love from all of the supporters who follow me on Instagram, and they were really excited and honored that I had really spoke up about the issue and about getting vaccinated because we want our state to be fully vaccinated. We want to keep moving along. We want to keep trending downward when it comes to the coronavirus cases. So I received a lot of love and a lot of support.
What kind, I know you mentioned earlier, you kind of turned into Miss Virtual Alabama over the past year. What kind of things did you get to do virtually that maybe would normally be in person, but had to turn over Zoom calls, over social media, over videos like this? How did you kind of keep your activities and your roles going through that?
Well, I have done so many different things. And being Miss Alabama, I'm so used to going out into the community. I go to a lot of school, different visits. I love speaking to so many different organizations and groups. So I was able to continue that, but in a lot of different areas and spaces. So my social impact initiative is working with the National Psoriasis Foundation. So I had the honor to host the international conference that they had just a couple months ago. So I got to be involved with so many people from all across the world that I probably wouldn't have been able to do had we not been in this virtual space and using social media and technology. So I was honored to have that opportunity. And I'm a vocalist. So I actually had the chance and opportunity to have a 30-minute concert one time, and I loved that so much because I got to share my voice with others and really just feel like I was back to some type of normalcy, whatever that might mean. And it was just a great experience. So I've still been able to get in touch with those virtually in the classroom, and that's what this is all about, just keeping it going and trying to keep everyone engaged and involved in this organization, and for Miss Alabama to stay engaged with the community.
You know, you talk about that being able to perform virtually, and I know you have a beautiful voice. I believe it's opera singing that you primarily do. And I just wonder, especially as a child growing up, you feel like people like Miss Alabama are so infallible and are just so perfect, and they are these gorgeous, as you said, beauty queens, and they're just perfect. So I wonder, have you had those moments like all of us have had at home on your Zoom call, maybe trying to sing, and maybe, you know, your pet decides that they want to howl along with you, or somebody walks in your background? Have you had any of those moments like the rest of us?
Absolutely. I am not perfect. I'm a very imperfect person, but I think that's what makes all of us human. And that's what I really love about this organization and something that we try to achieve all state holder title holders as well as local title holders. We want people to know that we're real, that we have real emotions, we have real feelings, and we have voices, and we love to voice our opinions and try to uplift people. So that's been something that I have learned in this organization because, like you said, it's always that stereotype of we're so perfect, everything has to go perfect. But I've really learned that some of my most fond memories is when I'm not perfect. I never am, but when people think I'm perfect, I love those imperfect moments because those are the ones that I remember the most and that I grow from.
And that people kind of get to relate to you, I would think, a little bit more. You can say like, oh, you know, she has a messy bedroom behind her, or she has an uncooperative pet as well, kind of like myself. So I've had plenty of those. I'm actually here trying to just cross my fingers and my dogs don't start barking, excuse me. But, you know, move before we get to, again, we're going to get to how you can come and visit and watch the competition this weekend, and how you can see the new Miss Alabama when she is crowned. But I want to quickly ask you a more serious question first, and that is that you are the second Black woman who has been crowned Miss Alabama, and that's a big deal. I know something you've also been vocal about is having more women of color involved in the competition. So what do you think can be done on that front? And are you proud to be a woman of color in the organization?
Absolutely. I'm so proud to be a woman of color. I'm so grateful and blessed to be a Black woman in this organization, to be a Black woman and be Miss Alabama. And I've had so many wonderful women that I know of color who have competed in this organization, who have come before me that I know could have rocked this crown many, many times before I ended up being the second Black Miss Alabama. But it has truly been an honor, and I've been so happy that I've received all these different messages from young women of color who say, I see you in this role, and now I feel like I can be here too. And so I definitely think that throughout this organization, we are making strides, and we see continuously as the years go on, more and more women of color are gaining these titles, and not only local titles, but state titles and national titles. And that's what we want to continue to see. And I think the best way to do that is to have that representation there, because sometimes we can't always be what we don't see. So that's my best advice, to keep moving forward. And even though these 2 years of up are up for me for being the current Miss Alabama, I still always want to be here as a volunteer, and to continue to encourage young women of color and all different types of women from all different walks of life to compete in this organization.
Tell us where. I know you mentioned that it is just a few more days left of your reign as Miss Alabama 2019. And I know that there will not be an official Miss Alabama 2020, but you kind of took on that role as well. So where can we see the Miss Alabama competition this weekend? How can we see it?
So I am here right now, actually in my dressing room at the historic Alabama Theater. The competition for the audience to see will kick off on Thursday night. So that will be June 10th through the 12th will be competition. The 12th, June 12th, will be the final night. So on June 12th, we will actually be crowning Miss Alabama 2021. And you can check online at www.missalabama.com for more ticket information. And I hope to see everyone who's tuning in right now to be here, because it's going to be a fun night. We're going to have a party, and it's something that you definitely don't want to miss.
And an in-person event, it is just like, it can just make everybody smile at this point, whether you're going or not. It's just, in-person events are back. I know it makes everybody feel a little bit more normal again.
Absolutely. We're excited. It's been 2 years, and all the candidates are excited. These are incredible young women. We have 39 candidates competing this year. And right now, a lot of them are in interviews. So competition has already started for a lot of the young women here today.
Well, we're going to let you get back to it, Tiara. Thank you so much for joining us on one of your last days as Miss Alabama, and we will look forward to meeting a new Miss Alabama on Saturday night.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Tiara, thank you. Everybody watching, thank you so much. We will leave all of the information that Tiara mentioned about how to go to the Miss Alabama competition this weekend here in the comments, and we'll leave that website as well. So thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.